Hey, okay, so my first fun video idea is talking about running a 5K. Well, if you know me, I do quite a bit of those. Um, but I mean, especially during the times that we are in now, people are thinking about what should we do? What should we do to stay fit? What should we do to exercise? And I think that running a 5K is a feasible option. Like, even though we are in unprecedented times, we can still run 5Ks. There's definitely fun runs that are available now and virtual runs. But I will be talking about if there are people there as well, just for in case you want to know. So, the first step for running a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, is finding one. That's really it. So most of the ones that I've done are through cross country meets because I did do cross country for 8 years. But I've definitely found other ones with like prizes that include money, trophies, and medals. And you get shirts with most of the runs that you do, including fun runs. And most virtual 5Ks actually do come with shirts and medals. I've done one of them that came with a shirt and medal for the Bronx Zoo, and that one was really fun. And the second step is to definitely to train because if you have never ran a 5K before, even if you have, you should definitely train. Just run a little bit every week and try to get yourself to the point where you can run for at least 45 minutes without stopping or walking because there is no walk in cross country, but there is a run. Ha ha ha. That's so bad. Um, but basically, you shouldn't be too stressed about it if you're just doing it for fun. But like, if you want to work on speed and if you want to work on actually completing it without walking or stopping, I would definitely try this. You don't have to do it on the first day. It can take a week, it can take 2 weeks, it can take a month. And you do have to choose your terrain because 5Ks are different. They can be really flat, which is good for beginners. But if you're not a beginner, you can try to challenge yourself with like a hill course or trail course, or even a flat course if you do want to go for speed. And keep in mind that the courses will have different textures, such as grass, which can be kind of more spongy, and there can be holes. That is how I got one injury. Pavement, which can kind of be hard on the bottoms of your feet. Gravels, which is like really slippery. And sand, which is just horrid, and I hate running on sand. It's bad. Um, but you can also do core workouts to train. Like, I think core workouts are important because it can help strengthen the other parts of your body, such as your arms or your abs. And those sometimes can help you finish a race. They can carry you through a race. And after that, you just have to prepare because one of the most important things is your outfit. I know that seems such like a girly thing for me to say, but no, your outfit is one of the most important things. You need to find something that is moisture wicking material, something that absorbs sweat because you're going to sweat a lot regardless of the temperature. And just dress for the temperature. Like if it's hot out, you're not wearing leggings. No, you're going to wear shorts and like a tank top. I sometimes wear, if it's really, really hot, I wear shorts and a bra. If it's I wear shorts and a tank top, then shorts and a t-shirt, leggings and a t-shirt, leggings and a long sleeve, leggings and a long sleeve and a coat, and going to colder weather. And make sure to wear good fitting shoes and good fitting socks. I have had such a terrible time finding socks that work for me because I really like socks that have padding in the toes and heels because socks actually do break quite a bit. And it's important to get good socks and shoes. You can actually go to stores where they will fit your feet for shoes specific to your feet. But if you do want like a shoe recommendation, I always have to go with Asics. I've been running in Asics since I was 10, and I'm almost 20. So, I mean, if you've been doing it for 10 years, and my dad who's run marathons, like almost 50 something marathons, he's been using Asics. So I've just never been wrong with Asics. And especially for the times right now, masks are important because if you are running in an area that is populated or requires masks, you do have to wear one when you run to keep other people safe. And so in my opinion, a neck gaiter does work best, even though it is not too effective against the virus. I would just say use your own discretion with that, because if you're going to be around people, maybe use a better mask. But like if you're going to be by yourself and there's a mask mandate in your area, I would say to use a neck gaiter because it, again, is that moisture wicking fabric that you want and it's breathable. And if you do want to wear a mask, which you should make sure that it is hyperventilation proof. If you can hyperventilate comfortable in that mask, you can run in it. And don't even say like, oh yeah, this is fine just normally. No. You will be hyperventilating if you are sprinting. Your breath is just going to go so fast and you can possibly like choke on the mask, which I've almost done a couple times, which is not fun. In addition to that, I do want to warn people about wearing masks in the rain because you can accidentally waterboard yourself, which I did that one time. It was not fun. Just make sure to, again, like I try to run in areas that are not densely populated, especially in these times. And you can't really do races with a lot of people, but again, I will be saying things for those races. Probably the most important thing is a stopwatch. You can time yourself and also see how much time you have left if you know your usual pace for a 5K. Something that I like to do that not everyone necessarily likes to do is a playlist. Now I know that some cross-country meets and some races do not allow you to listen to music, but I have tinnitus and it really helps to not hear the ringing when I'm running, and it helps to focus on the songs and the tempos that are going on in my head because of the playlist. So I would say to get a headphone that goes over your head. No AirPods. I know they look cool, but like those can fall out if you're going at like maximum speed. And I would make sure to get an armband too. I always put my phone in an armband that goes right there. And I can have access to like play, pause, so it's not in my hand so I don't drop it, because I've seen so many people in races drop their phone, it falls out of the headphones, they have to go back for it, and it takes time off of their run. If you want recommendations for songs that have good tempos, any song by OMFG, I know I like dubstep, I know it's cringe, but like those actually really do help for tempo. I would also say to check out the course before you run it, at least one time. If you do pick a race that's like a course that you normally run, that would be really ideal for your first 5K, but just make sure, where are the hills? Are there any creeks that I have to pass? What is the terrain like? Is it mostly grass? Is it mostly pavement? Because if it is mostly grass, you can wear spikes. Spikes are usually mainly used by people who do cross-country or track, but spikes they're lighter and they get more traction in different terrains that can be harder, but do not wear spikes on pavement. For the love of God, that will wreck your spikes. Oh my gosh. So for the pre-race day, which is actually, in my opinion, as important as the race day, first you have to carbo load. Carbo load, that's it. Pasta, potatoes, anything with carbs, just eat so much of it that night. My team used to have a pasta potluck the night before, and we would just bring in so many different types of pasta, and it was so great. But no junk food. No matter how much you like it, no junk food, because it will slow you down, and that does include greasy food, like fried chicken. Even though I love fried chicken, I would never eat it the day before a race. And to stay hydrated too, you need to constantly be drinking water. Oh, look, water. I always keep water with me because of this habit. And laying everything out the night before is really helpful because then you will be sure that you won't miss anything. And especially with like cross country meets where you have to get to the school at like 3 a.m. It's good to have the things laid out before. Lastly, it's important to get a good night's sleep before the race because if you're staying up anticipating, oh no, I'm going to do so bad, or oh, I'm going to crush the competition. No, you're not. You're going to be too tired. So that does bring us to the race day. So, I've seen this happen too many times. Just no big breakfasts. Please, do not eat a big breakfast. You will get sick. You will feel nauseous and you will slow yourself down. But that doesn't mean to not eat. It means to eat something that's a granola bar or Cliff Bar. Something like that. Amazing. And maybe like one or two. Don't go crazy with it. Don't eat a whole box. And eat something like a banana or an orange to get that those good vitamins in ya. Bananas actually help a lot with cramps. So if you do tend to cramp up when you run, usually the trick is to raise your arms and like hold your side. But if you want to like mitigate that so you don't look like you're raising the roof during a race, just eat a banana. It's important to eat to drink both water and Gatorade. Water and Gatorade because Gatorade has electrolytes and you are going to lose so much when you run. So you just need to get so many. And this is optional, but energy blocks, energy powder drinks, and gels can help, but you really have to make sure that you are going to be eating them, taking them at the correct time. Because if you take them too close to the race, they won't kick in. And if you take them too far before the race, you're going to feel too hyper and then you are going to crash. These things have like caffeine and energy components in them. It's basically like Monster in gummy form. They do make you go insanely fast though. Always bring 2 pairs of socks. Even if it's not raining, you do not want to run in the socks that you train in. Because if you're warming up and those socks get sweaty, you can get such bad blisters. Ugh, horror stories from blisters. Ugh. And even if it's not freezing, please wear sweats to start out. Not even sweats, layers. So let's say it's 1,000,000 degrees out. You're still going to start in like a shirt at least. Because you need to sweat a little bit when you run. You need to sweat when you warm up. Because especially when it is cold, it's important to feel that warmth because when you're running, it's going to slow you down when you're trying to warm up your body. And you do want to warm up at least a mile before you run. You can go really slow. You can just do a jog. That's usually what I do. But that warm up is important because it gets that blood flowing, gets your heart pumping. And so for the actual race though, something that I do, if I'm trying to beat a certain time or stay on track with a certain time, I write my splits on my arm. So a split is like the amount of time you want a mile to be. So since there's 3.1 miles in a 5K, I usually have 3 splits. So let's say I wanted to go 7 miles or 7 minutes my first mile. That's crazy fast for me. But like I would write it down. And you can check your watch, check your arm, check your watch, check your arm. Just get in that habit when you're running. And when you go to the starting line, you need to line up based on speed. If you're going to go fast, stay in that front because there's a funnel that happens and you need to get out of that funnel because the line is like this and you are running like that. That is very difficult. But if you want to go slow, stay in the back. Please do not be up front if you want to go slow because then you will probably get pushed over. And start out fairly quick. If you want to work on speed or like time, because again, like there's going to be that funnel, there's going to be those people pushing and shoving to get there, to get where you want to be. So even if you are sprinting at first, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and you want to find your pace fairly quickly after that. You need good form too. Don't go like this, don't do the Mickey Mouse. You have to move your arms like that, and don't ball up your fists. This is reserved for sprinting. My dad likes to say you're holding a potato chip in these little pinchers here, and you can't break the potato chip. Like, you can't go like, ugh, but you can't let it go either. So it's just like that, really like in the middle. Keep your shoulders back. That's really good. And make sure to open your stride. Just and close it when you need to, and that falls over to the hills. Power up the hills. Close off your stride up the hill. Lean into the hill. Sprinty hands. Coast down the hill. Open up your stride down the hill. Lean back so you don't topple over. Sprinty hands. And when you do start out, you have to find your pack, find a group of people that you know you can stick with, maybe even just a little bit in front of you, and say, look, I can stay with them. They're fine. And then pick people off. It's really easy to see who's not going to make it. If they're looking behind them, you know you can beat them. If they're huffing and puffing a lot, that means their breathing technique isn't that good. There's just a whole bunch of things, like if they look worried, yeah, you can do it. It's all about confidence. Cross country and running is like 80% in here. It's 80% mental. If you tell yourself that you can do it, you can do it. And puddles don't matter. That does not matter. I run through the puddle because if you are running around the puddle or trying to go on like a little wood plank over the puddle, because that does happen, you literally are wasting time. And I think it's really important to take advantage of how little time that you have. Like, each second is precious. And sometimes before you run, it's really important to pick a place that you want to start sprinting to the finish line. Maybe about 100, 500 yards. In my opinion, it's when you see it, I go. And you can just kick it. That's what I call it. Kick it, drop the hammer, you just go. You do not look back. You only keep forward. Sprinty hands. You're doing sprinty hands all the way there. And you think you're done, right? Well, you're wrong, because you do have that post-race. The first step is to get water and Gatorade. It's okay if you need to sit down or something for a while, but you need to get water and Gatorade. You need to replace those fluids that your body lost. And if it's cold, even if you feel really, really hot and sweaty, you need to put those sweats on, because it's going to actually give you hypothermia if you keep saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm really sweaty, because then once that sweat cools, you're going to be shivering. It is horrid. And please do a cool down. I know I've fallen victim to lying to my coach about cool downs, but it's important and it keeps you not stiff the next day. Always put on some slides. It's like, slides are kind of flip-flops, but they have like the Velcro that attaches them. It's basically you slip your foot right in them. Get one with some padding on the bottom. I would say that's really, really helpful, really good. And stick around for the results, because that's what you came for if you did. It's usually by speed, so there's like first, second, third overall, and age group. There's first, second, third men's, first, second, third women's, and then there's probably first, second, third in age groups. And I would always look up what age groups the race that you pick are using, because that way you can say, okay, this person looks about my age, I can pass them, if you're going for age groups. So even though this was a lot of information, I honestly love running, and running, especially starting with 5Ks, has changed my life for the better. Like, being able to tell people that you ran a race is kind of cool, and I've actually ran up to a half marathon. I did run a Ragnar relay race too, and so that's only really like the first step to doing that. And I do want to run a marathon in the future, and so you have to start somewhere. And I think starting with a 5K is really good. It's really cool. It's something to do right now. And so I hope everyone liked this video, and so if you did, please like and subscribe, and please comment for anything that you want to see. Yeah, I know this video is kind of long, but like, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Bye-bye.